everyone. Good afternoon. Are we all ready for an afternoon nap? Yes. So let me start my lullaby. Right. I'm going to sing a lullaby here. I'm going to tell you the history of English literature. And I guess it's going to be pretty boring because it's history. But I request your patience. Right. I'll try my best to make it as creative as possible. But as it is history, I can't help much. Right. But you know one thing, I've been asked, I've been told that I should rather try to speak in Tibetan, and I'll try my best to speak in Tibetan, and I'll try my best to stick with that language, right? But I might falter in between, and I might skip, and I might switch my languages in between, so pardon me for that, right? And as I'm not a usual Tibetan speaker during formal presentations, that's why I don't know how to speak formal Tibetan, right? But I know very well how to speak colloquial Tibetan, the vernacular Tibetan that we speak every day, that you speak, right? I know how to speak that very well, very fluently, but I don't really know how to speak formal Tibetan. So again, I think I have to beg your pardon for that if I use some wrong words or if I make some wrong sentences. I hope you will understand me, right? Are you going to understand me for that?
Yes.
Are we ready?
Yes.
La. And before I start, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to come here and to share whatever I could, whatever little I could, right, about English literature with you guys. I'm so happy that I'm here, and I'm so happy that you all look a little excited. You don't look sleepy right now, but I'll check at the end of the hour whether I've been successful in singing that lullaby, right? So with that, I think I'll switch into Tibetan language, right? Narala, the topic, the Divisha. Look at me, I'm presenting and I don't know my topic, right? Nupcho Zomri ki Pelrim Lengwas. So I was thinking about this Nupchok, and I felt like where should I start from? It's so huge, so vast, isn't it? I was like, should I go to Russia, or should I go to England, or should I go to America, or should I go to Brazil, or where should I go, and from where should I start, right? But then I felt like maybe this Nupchok refers to England. Peche, I just guessed it because I only know about English literature, right? My knowledge in that sense is also limited. I think I'm speaking in English, right? Ngarangi shingye di limited right? Ngai lobjong chisa di English literature la chire ani ngala nupcho gi zomri gi pelye lugyu samno dangna nupcho gekap mangboji gi zomni nupcho, right? I felt like the English literature rang hint chigi giresra, and I thought English literature rang tola shewo giresra. So I'm just going to focus on English literature, right? English literature gangla mapap la. First, let us just try to think about what is literature. Literature la nakares, right? Of course, English literature is a literature written in English language, right? Kyo samlo dangna literature lana kare ngazu pyoge na literature lana kare la kari la koguyor. Somrik. Yigi su yi mi kangrung ji kari ji tiba ina somrik la qualified chi na. Mi kangrung ji somrik kangrung ji tiba ina dila literature lap chogi na. This is my question to you guys. Ngi gi tharing zum gonda na la doche journal writing ji chi da zum ji nga tharing seminar present shi nga thuglo di khoi ta den de shi would that qualify for literature khachini na why not ugly I would like to know la come on let's talk right otherwise it's going to be very boring let's talk and it's like afternoon time not the best time of the day right literature khande chigla chomri khande chigla literature lap chogyu na I was thinking about that when I was given this topic ngadi tholati samno tairwa na topic dira tu sambala khande chigla literature lap chogyu na enje ina misu gi chomji gyasha ba na the literature chagi na I was thinking about that any idea la would you like to take okay of course I'm taking it as a class but it's also a class as well right so would you like to take 1 minute or 2 minutes and talk with your partner what is a literature and then can come up with some idea about literature right can you do that definitely
다들 지 배시나 한다 gelare 송사 nga 배시나 드린 사제 배시나 세미나 인데라 도라 인저 배신 짜인 데시 배시나 니 인데 마시아 스케저라 디 차선데 소수지 가서 심난 거래서 한바디 거래 이도로 빠고 있는 디 차선데 거래 차로 있으나 맞으면 좀릭 차로 이래서 그러나 나다 좀릭 나노라 디 야던 두던 인데지 가서 나다 개발치 두고 그러나 정말
something literature che
이마다 literature나 지당 좀릭라 배거든나 좀릭 나와있나 차선 좀릭 그랬어 당데 좀릭 그런 나노라 요청했는데 약도게 개발이 요랬어 근데 literature는 좀릭 디아가스는 배바 나노라 가스는 창마 좀릭 거래 튀어는 소수지 섬주 거래 가서 빠바니 이도로 빠바이나 디 차선 거랬으나 좀릭 차로 그랬어
okay
나다 좀릭 나노라 데 약도게 거랬으나 개발이 요랬어
wonderful thank you so much for your idea anybody else yes Aglo wants to say something Lao. Let's say. Some yimba kanshila some la number cranky characteristic khashech go res kola number ya thyon go res right I have a girl I'm so happy
딩원의 수신낭에 망고지 송스라 좀리라 자 양외던 지다 안 덕외던 고단지 열에라 양외던 고단데 제외나 아니 먼저다 가르티 쇼도라 마법샤 여저라 가리 있네 원디 아니 좀리 라나 디그레 송스라 자 양외던 시외나 안 덕외는 시나 디세오시 tingimdura ani ta 규제다 nembashi lagesar peji 원데 지로 고했어 양도니
okay I think that will be the last idea right
ngara chomri khole dang do de tan dm ha ko mas ngara dan di jinju re teng do ta gala chomri chom lai da chomri lai chera ta chom lai de da khar se gur da nin tho do chi tinare gela dan da chi song so ta she dan da do sin do la ten do chi na chom do chi chag re teng do ina chomri se de des nenga chimbu ji re teng do chom da chori lai de chomri lai de ni cheba yer teng chomri lai de des ri be yunu ye ju shi Queen Zumbondo, this Namjando, the Juzendo, the Tidagi, Yulundo, Yushimado, G territory Tizet Sama Zomri Chenan Digmar. Zomnal Tawachira, and the Gelagi Lason, the Zomnal Tawachira, Zomrinal Tae Samaritan. Zomri lad this Ribe Yunu Yotatu Yejundo, this Nenga Juzendo Yuji injury some.
Wait, Chigi Labio de Chazang, we're kind of echoing. But maybe tashi gi sungye china khari thiba inai chom la lap chogres inai chom la yaga yung chogre duga yung chogres ngaran zo aglo la gi sungye china chom la number go res I think you also echoed what aglo said right definitely the literature kon sikura siba inarwa literary and I think I I have it there on my slide as well. The word itself originates from Latin, like literary, meaning letters. Letters rang som, thick rang, right? Letters. Ina yang. There is a person over here saying something, Dr. Johnson, right? Dr. Johnson, the dictionary thangbo syengye. Am I clear? The one who made the first dictionary, and dictionary ngazul khazu helpful yore. Dictionary ngazul chingazu che the mangboji ta chue dictionary gi choyorwa. Tidu krangi ta chue le shisung doba ina krangi labe la kisi krangi zom gyab gyod ra. Lo gyale la ga ne ba yona. Lo gyale la ne tando mi gi krangi zom de logi yona ra. And the literature la do chogres. Ta gyalan lo gyal ha bu ne goya la zom de nang lo quality chi gurwa. Quality che me wala lo gyan ne tu marwa ani lo gyan ngwe la kyan tigyo de lo gyagi jela mi lo du samba la kwalen tu biech tidu human nyam the relate chi tu biech dende chi gi zomi chi la literature res crank dictionary nal define dende chi dwa Dr. Johnson ge, and I don't know what's that. Okay. I feel but there's no set definition for literature. Literature lana dire lani suchi ge thanda but the set definition chik pap to yo marwa. Ine ngarang ki feel china literature la the khande zom jil lagi yore lani ngarang ki when I think about this question, when I inquire about this question, I feel like a literary piece should go beyond its context, right? The context I'm talking about is the context of space and time, right? Such a chigla michigi den dumji tigwa, benchashan and ye sad not la den dumji tigi and ra, tuzujik tandagi tuzudel. Yaga nanglola, developing phase do de wagi tuzujik la, ye sad not such a chik chunjig la den, zum the tigi or va. That zum the such a chunjin de chikbo, tuzu tundu de chikbo jig nanglola, tani deba in, I don't think that's literature. Right. I think it should have a universal appeal. Right. It should go beyond the context of time and space. Kesi England la miji lone dinyam the relate chitubiyona, I think that is literature. Right. Nyema England la den midendegi Shakespeare, Wordsworth, kunzu zom tirva. Am I clear? That literature has transcended the time. Time transcends, and we still relate with the themes. Theme relate. Am I clear? Ani kunzugi saja chunjunji penachashana. Thank you so much. Penachashana Thomas Hardy doina saja chunjunji nangla den novel chunjunji zomrba. But that novel has transcended that space as well. And we relate with that literature, isn't it? I feel a literature is a piece of writing which transcends the boundary of space and time. Kesi space the time nema tunguyona. Tuntuba chipuza member, mishimba sangmanyam the relate chitubuyona. I feel we can call that literature. Dingarangi samsungirwa. And of course, tanda aglo lagi sungyen nakshire. In a literature, of course, it's an art. Nyemja chigurwa, namba chigurwa, dilurwa. And when I move on to the next, and the som di chupugures, this som di plural meaning, not just singular meaning. Penachashana tatandang nye la tiwa dangya that I'm going back to my first question. Nga tharing presentation ta yukshe dende gavin la ninge tina som chagru veledi. I don't think that, of course, that's a journal writing, diary writing, but I don't think that's a literary piece. The literary piece is samgi mintu. Kajin shubaina, the plural meaning ke yomare, just a surface meaning. Nga chibi, nga drawing, nga saying, nga tungi. There's no meaning behind that. Literature laya dila plural meaning go yore, literal meaning and symbolic meaning. Kharid soengire. Am I clear? A few days back, we were reading this poem. Do I have anyone from Shastri second year here? Shastri second year student? Yes. Yes, few days back I was reading this poem in his class, Kublai Khan. Right. Kublai Khan is a dream poem written by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Poem if you just go by the literal meaning, Sik rang ki meaning se ni do shana nature ki description dauj machine yeng mare, right? But if you try to read it really seriously, there's a psychological meaning behind that poem. So it has plural meaning in that sense, right? Symbolic meaning chige gogures, literal meaning chige gogures. In that sense, it should have plural meaning. Meaning chig member. Am I clear? Multiple interpretation yung thoya. That is the richness of literature. Nga khala sai, nga yukshe gyai. There's no plural meaning in this. Am I clear? Now, so literature thola this clear chavior ba, right? And then it should have a universal appeal. We have already talked about it. I've given two definitions to English literature, right? And whichever you prefer, you can take that, right? I'm just going to read it out. English literature is literature of English, England, and literature written in English. Yeah, England ni thungyo ki literature the chikpuji English literature re labna takta degyo ma, right? Keba mangboji ki things na original tiyor ba, and dinzu keba dinzu England rang ke gogu yo ma, gyaga keba original tingye yore, Russian keba original tingye yore, ngema yang chung yor ba. The kisi kunzu ki inji ki ke nal tigye do na, ani ke nal tiwe jela qualities thanda nga tsangma ke che sarwa plural meaning the context ni ma thye dang ra dinzo tsangma tsangi do na, we can qualify that written piece as a piece of literature, right? I'm going to read the other definition as well. English literature is the literature written in English by writers not necessarily from England. Writer the inji minji England ne yungu mare. This writer could be from Sarnath. This writer could be from CUTS as well, right? So you're not bounded by any space to create a literature. Literature space ki kasha yomar. Am I clear? So like this, I'll move forward. I'll move on to English language. With that kind of an introduction, this English literature, we are a little bit clear about what qualities should be there in a written piece to be termed as literature. I hope so, right? And I'll move forward. English language, of course, we are not going to talk about English language today. Language and literature are two different things, right? Language gang la focus the chia marer ba ina yang when you read literature automatically you're connected with language, right? Inji ki language and now I think I'm getting on to the main point that we are here to talk about today, the evolution of English literature. English literature the khandes ya thari me, right? So English literature thardang ki gerab lagwa gerab lugu. When you look back into that, right? You can divide that English language into three different phases. Phase period, right? English language, I'm talking about language right now, right? Not literature. Language we can go first, Old English, right? And that is totally archaic, right? Tanda English ningbagi tisha gyo nyenga ngazula ragi yore ragi yona yang ngazulo tu yomar. It's like out of our interpretation. It's out of our we cannot decipher that writing, right? Old English yore and dijela chilu chikdong chigya. Middle English. Middle English ne thungyo gi som mangboji ngazu ragi yowa nangshin lo ye thuyor. Am I clear? And then we have modern English, the English that we are using nowadays. But language keeps on changing. It's never stagnant. Language lady khatu ne chik nashi deg marwa. It changes with the change of time. So with this, we'll get on to the main topic that we are here to discuss today, that is English literature, right? Literature right? So English literature, the first I have just given you all the periods of English literature. English literature, right? Period nalama, era, divide myth, right? The first era is Anglo-Saxon period, right? And I think I don't need to read the year. And all of you have the copy of slides, right? Slide, you copy your bar, right? And it's pretty visible here as well. So I don't need to read that. Okay. Period thangbo, the Anglo-Saxon period. My lullaby is starting. Be ready to sleep now, right? Anglo-Saxon period, and created newer the Anglo-Norman period, right? The period Sumbadi, the 14th century. The Kimala literature, the 14th century literature, then 15th century literature, and the Renaissance, right? This is a new classical era, this is a romantic era, and we are all going to talk about these eras in brief, right? These eras, we are going to talk about them in brief. Brief, mother, you can talk about one era for whole year. You can talk about one writer for a whole year. Writer chick kona dende chupu yungurwa, right? Ine ngazu thanda sangmala lagwa chance. We're just going to briefly talk about all these eras. And then a Victorian era, modern era we are living in right now, post-modern era, right? Post-modern era, 1955 onward. 1955 ne chine sunje la ani tsomrik themba chazang ra dila postmodern literature, right? Okay, with this I'll go on to Anglo-Saxon period. Dikhane redo gyata shibya ngapchu ne chikdong ngapchu pardo, right? Thidu sambala England lane the United Kingdom lan thanda chi yorba Britain, right? Thidu samala chama dogdo nyamdo yo mar chama thor dengech, right? Thidu sambala England la tribe sum gi rule chi I've mentioned only 2 tribes here, right? Angles and Saxon. Dinzu tribe dikhane yung war to Germany gi tribe chik ra inji gan la rule chi ni gyurumbu dedwa. Thi song zang Germany gi influence shuk chimbu pe or English literature gal. English literature gi poem thangbo epic poem Beowulf celebrates a German warrior. German gi music celebrates chiyor. It's very clear that English literature go to sambala Germany mi yoni kan kor chini deberwa. Tigi influence shuk chimbu jik English literature na yor resba. Tidu samba gi literature mangbo jik thanda ragyo mare khachin shuba ine tidu literature mangche je oral redwa. Tata ngazu pheba nangla nyema literature mangche ta thingsang pap yogi rama do dinge ngema gi literature mangche oral literature ba oral tradition singirwa khane tang che and orally ma pass on chi de jura Pamagi Pula pass on Chia Naida, Gayengi Gidula pass on Chia Naida, the orally rang pass on Chi de Teacups of literature, Shukchimbuji, Ratu Yomare. Yina Yang research Manguchi ne Kari historically Kari proved Chigore. Eldam is the first known English poet, but his verses are lost. Right? Ko Inji Nyenga Somke Tangbo Kore lan Sheji Yoremado. There's no proof, right? Inaya kogi ende nyama nyenga shimbare kuna nyenga kembare lani sheseji yor. Inaya thanda lagbala raya nyenga cardamom kajrayor. Tija mikasheji cardamom bi poet thangbo re la stir kachin labena kurang nyenga thanda raya yorba, right? Inaya Adam nyenga de raya yor marete Keba Manguji Eldam Rang Nyanga Kemba Tangbo. Then in English literature go to the oral literature and then a written literature. Nema che, right? And Bede, right? Is also one of the 4 early English poets whose name are known. Poet Shigi Ming Tangbo go to the Sambaling Yore. Poet Shine Chick King Alfred, Chick Bede, Chick Cardamom, and Chick Eldam. Kunzu shi de res. Kunzu shi de ne ning jimu di Eldam. Kura shingba ji che paju tsoke dende re shas. Ani kura paju tso rubru chigo yudi sambala ani she nyembu shiu chitang worse. Di ngazu when I look into it or when I inquire into it, we also have such tradition in Tibet as well, right? paju tsonge tang luk tsonge de zu gi she tang wa nyenga tang wa ni dende gi lugyu nga zu khoya dwa tingsan right thangbo khunzu gi gozuk de dende strang gozuk dwa shingba ni nyenga ji yungu do nyenga poetry la na nyenga rang ba literature shuk chumbu ji church ne right church ne ti chidu sambala very similar to nganzu gi Tibetan literature isn't it nganzu pheba nyema yimba ina I'm just guessing right nyema yimba ina lobjong khemba shukche chimbu ji goba khan ma shungo ma ra shingba denzula lobjong chi gi khogap ta den ke yo ma right ina yang tanda yang ni ngararang gi amla lobjong phela lobjong chinyungda yo mare ina yang nyenga tambe dang de singala phaju lug de choga de khala de la sikje de dwa she chunju de mangbo kyoyer tinzu kunzu literature na zigi dwa nganzu gi nangjung pheba ngara su literature thongye mindula de dinzu samatsu rubrub chi goya roj I feel like that right they are very rich oral tradition de and then King Alfred did kunzu shila nyamdo karlab yore two saints saint ni yore bait down cardamom kuni saint che a cowman the eldom che and a king the Alfred re kunzu shigi in English literature de thangbo ya gozu ye jura som gyabet ya gozu et kunzu shi gozu res and poem thanda Old English nala thanda thongyu yoba manuscript raya the Beowulf la dikhaji raya and I've mentioned this the epic poem Beowulf an epic poem is the most famous surviving Anglo-Saxon literature thidu kapsugi raya yoba right and this is just a manuscript of Beowulf lo tuye yomare of course it's Old English right English re ina ngaju thanda di lo tuye yomare khajin shuba ina that is in Old English, right? And I'll continue, move on with that. Now, with this Anglo-Saxon shane, we are now on Anglo-Norman period. Germany, England, Germany chazan le omar, the German ki tribe chick le, tribe chick England na le settle chi chazan chi sadu. Yeah, England tisling jabu chadu French king of Normandy, Norman. Tinzu ki England la ma gyabni yang kunzugi England chiksim dua right England was conquered by the king of Normandy right the France nere French right he was French tidu sambala inji lungba la nye la yungdu sambala Germany gi ke shukchumbu je inji ke di shukchumbu thar thuyo marwa niwa de la France gi ke French de shukchumbu je thar inji ke de thigyang yang tidu thar thuyo mar am I clear and French became the major language in England then. To this example, French ki ke di ke shuk che sho de cha English di thandu yang thidu yang national language in lan declare cha yo mar. Am I clear? Declare cha yo mare ani thi ki era kap so writer di kheba chung re la prominent writer then de ke te yo mar Anglo-Norman period la khajil la na shuk che ji French na do de bra right ani ina yang right okay with that I move on to the 14th century right 14th century la William ge if I'm not wrong yes William yes William la kurang gebo de ge London the England ki capital in lan shini 14th century na declare chaur London the tidu sambala ke shuk che the French ke gap the or inji lungba nalola declare che and in 1362 the parliament was opened in English for the first time in history inji ge gerab nala ra inji ge gerab nala thengma thangbo parliament sugor wa khundu chozo sugor wa parliament suye de thengma thangbo gozu inji ke nala gozu res di ngela French ke German ke shemba na go that means national language the inchi thidu sambala established chayo marwa 9th khajur do 1362 la parliament de thangbo inji ke na thangma thangbo go zu ne thidu sambala ni shine English or King's English thidu samba English language like King's English like British king ra King's English was established as the national language of England. Inji gi national language ni lani established chewares, right? Okay. The father of English literature. I'm done with this. Okay. Geoffrey Chaucer, 14th century nal chungware, and he one cowman, two priests, one king. Discuss chesarva. Kunzu you go to where the lab right to do some language the established charm do kunzu kalegre. Gap kunzu pen chumboji kept out roto yomarva. Right. This jailer Geoffrey Chaucer, and he is often termed as the father of English literature. Krong la mitsangma gi ngunjin kha shugore Kranage in English literature dima bet kran tharso shuk chimbo yungyat inji kenal Geoffrey Chaucer nema chung res ma ani kran yan tidu sambale kebe ta rela na khandej guguyo rel tidu samba kran zo keba zigdan de la keba le de la things I think that is quite same. Scholarship tongo you should know more than one language or more than two languages, right? I'm not saying I'm scholar because Kenyi Mawa, I don't know what is that Kenyi Mawa, right? Tidu sambala ke ni sum shingwala scholarship. Scholar tsigi yudu Kuraya tidu sambala inji chikbo chigi nangla literature matiwache French nangla tigi tu Kura Italian nangla tigi tu Kurangi Latin nangla tishagyo mangboyor. Mangbo thongya yor. Tande Kurangi tishagyo denzu shazam tande raya yore. And Kurangi of course, he was a writer. At the same time, Quran gebugi lumbo clerk chigeredwa. He was a clerk to the royals, and he traveled quite often on king's business. King gilega yodium could travel mangbuchi do sambala mi mangbutu and observe mangbuchi. Of course, he'll get a lot of abundant of subjects to write on, right? And Quran language, French, Italian, English. He read profusely. He was a reader, right?